Hey, Shalom. I'd like to start out by giving all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the Great Millstone. Shalom to the elect of Israel. This is the Mayim in Atlanta, and I was just watching the priest Tazayawan's video. His channel's GMS, The Spirit of Prophecy. But he's saying the truth of being an Israelite just makes so much sense. And it really does. It makes way too much sense. It's the true reality. We've been living in a false reality where the basest of men have been lifted up and they've been controlling basically the reality of everyone on the planet. And so they're not going to tell you that they're the lowest form of humanity. They're going to tell you they're the highest form of humanity, which that's how you get Edomite supremacy. And it really just comes from their insecurities and their inadequacies and them trying to overcompensate for all of that. But that's created a false reality because they had to change history and to hide history. They've had to change the doctrine of the scriptures and added in their own ways. The best example is that everybody could be saved when they're the ones that have the least amount. They have no shot of being saved at all. They're outside of repentance. They're the profane people of the scriptures. They are the wicked. And the Lord's coming to put down wickedness and to have a righteous kingdom flourish. We've been given a complete false reality. We're told what's actually bad for us, bad for society, bad for the earth, are actually good things, and that good things are actually terrible things. Woe to them that say evil is good and good is evil. And we're told that as Israelites, the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, as well as our scattered, we're told that we are the lowest form of humanity, at that we're the basest of men, basically. And it's just all not true. And you could see it. There's little, I guess you could say, glitches in the matrix that you're able to see before you come into the truth that show you that these things are not true. Like if Esau was the best human on the planet, they would be dominating in sports and dominating entertainment, but you don't see that. You see Jake doing that. What you do see Esau dominating is corruption and being able to finesse the majority of the world. They can do that quite well, and then they play that off like it's all honest and good gain, but it's not. You could also see these holidays that they're nothing more than satanic holidays, and that should show you that reality isn't quite what they say. When there's the biggest holiday that society participates in is not even within the scriptures. That should show you that what we've been told is a lie. And the truth is that the first shall be last and the last shall be first. And we're coming into a great transition where Yahushua comes back and sets up his kingdom with his people over all of these others, which the others are the Gentiles. And we're just in the time of the Gentiles. And it's coming to its fullness. And so truth is coming out of what the next eon, the next age is going to actually be. But none of what we've been told makes any sense. Everything is just complete corruption and leads to death. Yeah, we live in an age where we have technology that that does a ton for humanity. We have excess resources, excess food, and everything seems well, but you look at it and you take a hard look at it And this technology kills us. These foods give us diseases and destroy us as well. The ways between people destroy families and destroy society, and it's no way to keep going. But all these corruptions are being put down because the truth is coming out, which the Lord said that truth would spring out of the earth. I think that's Isaiah 25. Nope, Psalms 85. Slovakia. Psalm 85 and 11. Truth shall spring out of the earth, and righteousness shall look down from heaven. And this is coming with the Great Awakening. The truth of the Bible is that it's about the Israelites and their rise and their fall and their rise again of the Israelites, the true rulers on this earth. And that's a truth that has been held down for far too long. And during that fall of the Israelites, the rise and then the fall, others would sit there in place of the Israelites. And so you have predominantly Amalek that is sitting there in the place of the Israelites. But you also have those Philistia Jews, which are Hamites, claiming to be the people. You have other Edomites claiming through their replacement theology that they're the true Christians. And none of that is true. As it says here in Lamentations 5 and 2, our inheritance is turned to strangers, our houses to aliens. And this is because the Israelites went off. They fell. We fell. We were going after the gods of the other nations, and the Lord made us basically as the other nations. We became a no people. And during that time, primarily Amalek of the Edomites, those people with the many hats, those many tops on their head, that live in the land claiming to be the Lord's people. These are truly the aliens that have taken over the houses. You saw them get in under, or what was called the Herodian dynasty, which was started by Antipater the Idumean. And so Edomites took over then. They also did it again with the Khazars and their conversion during the Dark Ages. And since, they've been holding our place, pretending to be the true Israelites, and renamed us just black people or natives, savages. They've called us everything that we're not. And that shows also that we are the people, because it would be for a sign and wonder. These curses, they would be all over us. Deuteronomy 28 and 45. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou beest destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy power, to keep his commandments and his statutes, which he commanded thee. We didn't do any of it. And so the Lord wrote us a bill of divorce and took away our heritage and who we are. You can see that in Jeremiah 17 and 4. Thou even thyself, Jeremiah, shall discontinue from thine heritage which I gave thee. He took us off the map, took it away from us. And others filled in those places, claiming to be the Lord's people, but they are not. It says, and they, because we broke it, we would have these curses upon us. It says, and they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. That is the truth. In the end times, you would be able to identify the Lord's true people by these curses. It would be a sign and a wonder. It's a great big billboard on us that we are the Lord's people. And part of these curses are that we would be the tail and not the head, which we'll do this. Yeah, and you can see it here in 13, if we actually did what the Lord wanted us to do, which we'll read that, Deuteronomy 28 and 13, that everything would be all good. And it says, and the Lord shall make thee the head, not the tail, and thou shalt be above only, and thou shalt not be beneath. If that thou hearken unto the commandments to the Lord thy power, which I command thee this day to observe and to do them. And this is coming in the kingdom, because the Lord's going to give us the second covenant, where he's going to place the law, statutes, and commandments in our inward parts. It's just going to be a part of us. We're just not going to be able to go off, and that's going to bring the everlasting life. And that's how you would know the Israelites are there, because they'd be basically gods on earth, little g, immortals on this earth over everyone else. That's what those people in the lands are basically saying. They're saying that they're there, they're immortals, we're all their slaves, and that they're the people, which they're not the people. There'd be no more war. That's a huge part of that. There'd be no more war. All the tribes would be back together. Yahushua would have returned. You would have had the Battle of Armageddon and the Battle of Yahushua and that great war. You'd have the chariots return, because Yahushua is coming with its clouds, and you'd have all these things that have not happened, but they've been giving us a false reality. But that's being all turned on them, because none of that's true. The Israelites still have to rise again. There's no, which is happening right now. We're in the Great Awakening, because those things are about to happen. And those people that have been pretending, being frauds, they're about to be put down and then put under the curses. That's what's coming for them, because currently they're the head, which for them to say they're the Israelites, they should have been claiming that they're the tail, but they can't do that. Deuteronomy 28 and 44, he shall lend to thee. Who's the greatest lender that we know in these times? Who's that lender? Who runs the banks? Which I'm going to jump up to 43, Deuteronomy 28 and 43. The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. Because these are the curses. This is what we've been under. We went off, and the Lord took that head position away from us and gave it to these strangers, these aliens that filled in. But it's just a temporary blessing for them. But they are the head. Who's the head currently? It's those people that are in the land claiming to be the Lord's people. They're the ones that have the ability to change laws. They're the ones that run the banking system and the entertainment system. They're high ups as CEOs within most of these major corporations. They have the ability to change laws so that you can't speak about them at all. That's the head, currently the head. And Numbers 24 tells you exactly who that would be. Let's go to Numbers 24 real quick. Numbers 24 and 20. And when he looked on Amalek, it's already highlighted there for me. He took up his parable and said, Amalek was the first of the nations. So in the latter days, in the end times, just look up and see who's running the show. That's going to be Amalek. And it's a double meaning, because Amalek was the first to challenge us as we were coming out of Egypt during Exodus from Egypt. But this is about the latter end, the latter days. That's why he said, jumping up to 14, Numbers 24 and 14, he says, now behold, I go unto my people, come therefore, and I will advertise thee. So he's going to show us what this people shall do to the people, to thy people in the latter days. This is about the latter days. So jump back down to 20. And when he looked on Amalek, he took up his parable and said, Amalek was the first of the nations. Who controls the banking, the entertainment, the media? Who runs society and has the most influence? That's going to be Amalek. That's those people with those many hats parading, masquerading as the Lord's people. He says, but his latter end shall be that he perish forever. They're going to be taken away. This isn't talking about just one person. It's talking about their whole nation. And it's not just the Amalekites. It's actually going to be all of Edom, all of Idumea, which Idumea is made up of so-called white people or so-called Caucasians or Europeans, whatever they want to call themselves. That's Edom. And included within that are these people with the many hats that claim to be the Lord's people. All of Edom is going to be taken out. And so you get other untruths like everybody can be saved. That's not true. These people are going into captivity for 1,000 long years, and then they're going to be wiped off the face of the earth. It says, thus saith the Bible, Obadiah 1:18. That's another big untruth that is on this earth. But going back to Deuteronomy 28, it says, he shall lend to thee. So that's Amalek. That's who's currently lending to everybody, owning the banks, running the banks. And thou shalt not lend to him. Who's not lending? It's the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, as well as they're scattered. It's the Israelites. We're at the bottom. It says, he shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. The Israelites are at the bottom socio-economically. That's the tail. And the Amalekites are the head currently, running this earth in wickedness. And that's why we have so much pollution. That's why we have so many vain philosophies here. That's why we have such vile behavior from the people, because these are the people of Satan. They're adverse to the Lord's ways. So the Lord says that alphabet lifestyle is abominable, and these people lift it up. The Lord tells you that the man is the head over the woman and over the children, and they reverse that because they're adverse to these ways. They pollute the earth. They push their violence all around the earth, and they're the reason that this earth is in such decay. It's in such a low state currently, because they are the head. They're the basis of men that the Lord has lifted up, but he's coming to put all of these things down. And he's showing everybody that this is not it, but his truth is coming out. So in 2nd Esdras 6 and verse 27, it says, for evil shall be put out, and deceit shall be quenched. False history, this false iconoclasm, these philosophies that are out here, this is all evil, and it's deceit. Putting this veil over all of these nations is evil and it's deceit, and we're coming back into truth. We know that the Chinese are the Moabites, that the Japanese are the Ammonites, that the Ishmaelites are so-called Middle Easterners, that the Elamites are so-called East Indians and Iranians and Persians. We know that the so-called white man is of the nation of Edom, of the wicked. We know that Amalek's these people claiming to be us. And we know that the Israelites, the true children of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, are the Negroes, the Latinos, and the Native Americans. And then we also know that we've been scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. And so we've spread our seed, and we're going to come back looking like all of these other nations. We're going to come back looking like the Moabites, which are the Chinese. We're going to come back looking like Amalekites, which are the imposters that are in the land. We're going to come back looking like everyone. All this evil, these lies are being put down. It's being quenched. It says, as for faith, it shall flourish. In the faith, you see it within the brothers of the great millstone, as well as our affiliates. You see this faith flourishing, is increasing. And this truth is increasing. It says corruption shall be overcome. This whole earth is corrupt. There's war everywhere you look. There's always war going on. There are lies all throughout history which have formed this false reality that we live in, because Esau's placed himself where he hasn't been, and he's taken the credit for both the Israelites and the other nations, because he thinks himself to be supreme. This is all corrupt. The way that they run and do contracts is all corrupt. Their banking system is corrupt. This is just a corrupt earth because, as it says, as the king, so are the people. The king gets corrupted and evil, and it's corrupted the whole earth. But it's being overcome. And it says in the truth. And we all love the truth. We love the truth that the Lord has dropped down via the apostles and elders of the great millstone. This is what's overcoming all of this corruption and this deceit and these lies, all under Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. And it says, in the truth, what hath been so long without fruit shall be declared. The true Israelites are the Negroes, the Latinos, and the Native Americans, as well as are scattered. It's about seed. It's about bloodline, who you come from through your father's seed line. And this is the great battle between good and evil. Evil is in power now, but evil is falling because truth is destroying the lies of the wicked. And so, Lord willing, that was edifying. May this truth continue to flourish. I'd like to give all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakach Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the great millstone. Shalom to the elect of Israel. Shalom.